Perhaps many people like me watched with great enjoyment the confrontation between Vox and Alastor in the first episodes of the Hazbin Hotel, and in general the development of these characters. Personally, I received extraordinary pleasure from watching song and engagement of this duet. Today I would like to talk about Vox and Alastor, and also look at why they are enemies to each other. Hello everyone, my name is DERVIS and welcome to my channel. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe and smash like. Let's begin. In order to understand this whole conflict, we must briefly analyze Vox and Alastor in order to understand what we are dealing with. Vox is one of the most powerful overlords of Hell. He also known as well as one of the founders of the We Syndicate. His main activity is the creation and sale of various devices, gadgets and technologies to the inhabitants of Hell, and he controls over multiple mass media sources and part of the internet. If you think about it, Vox is like Steve Jobs in the world of the Hazbin Hotel. He owns many stores, production centers, and TV studios throughout the city, making him one of the most powerful players in the demonic arena. If we want to give him a psychological characterization, then he appears to us as a person who strives for power and demands control with minor notes of perfectionism. He is extremely pragmatic and self-confident, but there are still existing some persons who can drive him crazy. Alastor is perhaps one of the most intriguing and interesting personalities of the Hazbin Hotel. Most of you know that Alastor's main nickname in the world of the Hazbin Hotel is Radio Demon, which was given to him for a reason. Alastor's main occupation is management of radio stations and radio broadcasts. We don't know for sure if Alastor owns any radio stations or studios, except those ones that we saw at the Hazbin Hotel itself. But we do know that in the past, Alastor was a radio host in New Orleans, so his radio hosting abilities are on a high level. As for personality, we remember how strong Alastor really is. If we want to briefly describe him, then the definition of psychopaths fits very well for him. He cannot be intimidated, bribed, or come to an agreement. All he lives for is having fun and watching his opponents suffer. Cruelty, with incredible confidence and unshakable emotions, create an extremely dangerous combination that will make many people afraid. In general, now, when we have made a brief description, we can look into our question itself. Why do Vox and Alastor have a rivalry between each other? It would seem that the answer is obvious, because Vox and Alastor compete with each other in the mass media, but just in different ways. Vox is doing that by TV, Alastor by radio, but such view is extremely one-sided and does not reveal the whole problem. As we remember from the second episode, Alastor did not appear in public for 7 years, and during this time, Vox, together with the We Syndicate, managed to gain significant positions in Pentagram City, making himself one of the most influential overlords of Hell. I mean, you for sure understand it. Alastor never had a goal to somehow gain influence in Hell for the sake of power and build his own radio empire, although our friend clearly has enough abilities and strengths for this. As we remember, Alastor appeared in Hell decades before the events of the Hazbin Hotel, and definitely before his opponent, because Vox clearly would not have acquired the appearance of a demon with the head of a TV if such technologies did not exist in real world. So there is clearly a gap in appearance between them for several decades. But this is a different question. We are concerned about something else, because, as we remember, when Alastor appeared in Hell, the first thing that he decided to do was loudly to declare about himself and show everyone what he was capable of. It is very likely that when he appeared, no one took him seriously, especially the old overlords of Hell. But Alastor, like no one else, understands perfectly well that the best and fastest way to win someone's attention and convince everyone that you are serious is to carry out an uncompromising and merciless massacre, in which neither your status, rank, origin, gender, or age don't matter. So he did. Literally overnight, he brought all of hell to its knees, killing lots of the overlords of hell that had ruled for centuries, while broadcasting their massacres throughout the city using radio stations. But why? It's simple. When Alastor appeared in hell, he quickly realized that if he wants to mean something here and be respected, he must instill fear in everyone around him and show strength. Otherwise, he will never be taken seriously. And plus, personally, I think that there was some aspect of fun and excitement in this for him, because he actually destroyed all the old orders and saw how everything was collapsing around him. A true satisfaction for his eyes. But I personally see in these events the other side of the problem, because if you think about it, then as Waggy herself said, the old elites of hell ruled the entire city for many centuries, and no one could overthrow them, which clearly increased the general tension. And I think that a significant part of sinners, demons, and future demon lords were grateful to Alastor for his massacre, since it changed the order of things and allowed others to rise. And I think that it was the reason why Vox proposed an alliance to Alastor, since he understood that together they would be unstoppable. In this, Vox saw a huge prospect for rebuilding the society of hell and building his powerful empire, because now nothing could stop him on the way. Our TV demon wanted and wants power and dominance over everything he touches. He wants self-realization, status, and respect of the people, while Alastor doesn't need it at all. His main task in hell was to declare himself and make sure that no one ever thought about touching him. This was done in order to ensure his own safety, and he accomplished this goal. And if some fools even dare to go against him, they will obviously regret about it. But believe or not, Alastor doesn't have any goal in his way, or at least we don't know it yet. He enjoys his life and what is happening around him, periodically throwing wood into fireplace himself, so that everything burns and glows even more. He has no craving for power. He is more turned on by all sorts of intrigues, disputes, and probably even confrontations with someone in order to assert himself and his ego while suppressing anyone in his path. Therefore, Vox and Alastor do not get along, since they see the meaning of their existence in hell completely differently. That is why the radio demon refused on TV demon proposal, because our Creole simply does not need it. He sees no point in this union and is not interested in it. But Vox perceives this refusal as an act of disrespect for his person, because he is guided by the next principle: everyone who is with us is our friend, and if you are not with us, then you are against us. He saw a huge opportunity in this alliance and promised a lot, being confident that Alastor would agree. But when he heard the refusal, the secret meaning was something like this from Alastor: I don't need you or your empire. I myself many times stronger than you. You are no match for me, and I will continue to have fun in hell without you. Of course, this infuriated Vox, since he wanted to build his empire and achieve complete dominance, and as a result, Alastor became the main obstacle to achieving this goal, and TV Demon could not allow that. Therefore, 7 years ago, he went to war and confrontation with Alastor with goal to destroy him. Because without Alastor, Vox will not have a single competitor left in conquering his power, but as you correctly guess, Alastor won this fight and managed to put Vox to the fingernail. In those moments, he had never been so close to death, but Alastor just spared him and retreated. He left, disappeared, whatever. If he said something, that it would be like this: well, it was fun. I have to go. It's getting boring. Have fun here. And I think that Alastor did this for a reason. because I suppose that firstly, he was not interested in the power struggle, and secondly, imagine the size of Vox's humiliation when he realized that he was alive, not because he was fighting for his life, but because he was spared by Alastor. Alastor understood perfectly that this would torment Vox even more than death. So he laughed, while experiencing pleasure from torment and suffering of the TV demon. This is why Vox hates Alastor. He is seeking for revenge on his opponent and desire to prove that he is better, because deep down inside, he is incredibly jealous of the radio demon. Vox understands his powers and what potential he has. He wants to be the same, or even better. Their fight is yet another proof that between friendship and rivalry, they're always just one step. Having experienced such humiliation and feeling offended, Vox will strive to do everything to defeat Alastor, or at least make sure that life doesn't seem very easy for him. But Alastor himself doesn't care for all the attacks and insults that Vox is trying to do. Alastor doesn't even notice them because he understands that he is stronger. The radio demon only likes one thing: seeing how Vox constantly screws up and feels enraged by his failures. Feeling of superiority and torment of others is a real food for Alastor's soul. Therefore, this struggle and confrontation will continue for a long period, until one of them makes peace and abandons this venture. But knowing how strong their spirits are and how stubborn these two are, we obviously won't see the ending of this performance soon. On this moment, our video comes to the end. Thank you everybody who watched to this moment. Don't forget to subscribe and smash like. Goodbye.